Yeah, our topic will be about NFTs, of course, but I want to hear about yourself first, about your experience in blockchain and how do you connect it to the world of sports, esports, and Web3 games as well.
All right. Good morning. My name is Grace Sabandar. I'm the founder of Global Sportainment Network. I'm also the founder of Indonesia Blockchain and Metaverse Center. So actually, this is new. It was founded, Global Sportainment Network founded years before we founded Indonesia Blockchain and Metaverse Center. So now we connect because we are from sports industry, the real sports industry, not esports. But now we try to enter, try to engage football players and also with the fans through our platform. So it's like that.
Cool. What about you, Ida?
I've been in the blockchain industry for 6 years already. So I'm considered what is known as OG. I started off in DeFi. I have 2 DeFi projects under my belt, which I started. I'm very familiar with tokenomics, very familiar with crypto, very familiar with crypto listings, hedging, collaterals, and all those things. How did I ended up into where I am now? Okay, is because it's one industry which I'm always curious about. Okay. About gaming, because I noticed that the psychology of gamers is very different from a trader. Trader is essentially if I can entice you, I can make you be interested to buy one, get one free, you know, that kind of thing. You can move the crowd, the volume in your favor. Gamers, on the other hand, if I were to do all these things in a Web3 gaming or even in any gaming, okay, it might not actually happen like that. Sometimes they actually abandon the crypto, or actually no, most of the time they'll abandon the game because of the crypto element. So that's how I ended, because I'm curious about it, and that's how I got myself into VGG when an opportunity came, and here I am.
Cool. So I want to speak about Asian and Southeast Asian blockchain market. So I attended DEF CON in Bangkok a month ago, and it was huge. And everyone was speaking about the market, you know, and the potential of all of these countries in Southeast Asia. So what's your perspective on the region of the blockchain development in it, and how do you see the mass adoption in the region, how it looks right now?
You know, Indonesia in Southeast Asia is the largest population. We have 280 million people. So this is like potential for blockchain and also, fans engagement. And in Indonesia, we have very huge fans of football. There is, there is a club that the fan base is 27 million, like that, 25, 27 million, like that, and number 23 in the world. The first is Real Madrid, and Indonesia is like number 20 something, with this huge fan base. So I see the potential. So I am from the sports innovation industry, like that, and then now we are going to NFTs, like that, for engaging football players and the fans.
Interesting. What can you add, Ida?
So for those who know me, I'm actually Malaysian, but I spend most of my time in Australia. So to answer your question, I used the analogy of my son. A couple of days ago, he was telling me about how his cousin is such a good Roblox player. He's such a good player on those games, online games. And his exact words to me was this: Mom, he is so good that if he comes to Australia, he will qualify into a team. Okay? My cousin is actually in Malaysia. And I said, so how come, you're not there, things like that. His answer to me was this: Because when we play games, Mom, we actually play with an actual ball. To answer that, it's because in Asia, why it's growing compared to a lot of Western countries, okay? It's because of the society nature over there. Everyone plays mobile games. Everyone has played PC games, okay?
Yes.
And the reason why you do that is because largely is because of scarcity. In Australia, every school must have a field. If you don't have a field, you cannot have a school, okay? So in Malaysia, I can pretty much pick up quite a lot of schools that doesn't even have a gym. It doesn't even have a school. I don't know about Indonesia, okay? So they compensate with all these things. That is why it is growing there at such huge scale, because games is universal. Whether you play online or you play in real life, it's universal. Even I am still playing games at this point. And that's why, because a lot of these issues, Southeast Asia is growing tremendously, and it will continue to grow.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. And yesterday I had a conversation with a chairperson of World Digital Community, and they're building this idea and concept of like combination of the digital games and physical sports. And they understand that there are some of the countries they can't, provide all of these fields and like places needed for a young population to engage in real sports. But they are trying to like just help these people to do it in little places and to try to combine these activities and like combine all of these scores that you earn in digital world and physical world, and to compete with each other, because that's how they like they're fun and they're cool. So I really like this idea, and I think that maybe that's something that will be really interesting in the market like this. So I found this survey from Consensus, and it was published only yesterday, so it's fresh data. And here is the information from this report. With the exception of Japan, roughly 1 in 3 or more in Asia are familiar with NFTs, and just under half of respondents in the US are aware of NFTs. So let's touch on this. How do you think NFT market is developing in Asia?
Do you want me to take it? Okay. Let's not talk about Asia first. Just let's talk about NFT, okay? When NFT broke through, the concept of NFT broke through in the blockchain scene, it really opened a lot of people's eyes, because before that, blockchain has already existed, and NFT needs blockchain to exist. Everyone knows that. But why it broke into a lot of people's eyes? Because NFT is a concept that pretty much everyone can understand, just like AI, okay? Blockchain, not really. It's a bit hard to actually push it forward. Then you put NFT in, and they go, I get it. Digital, collectible, I got it. I get it. Okay, all right. AI is another one. So NFT on its own, in my opinion, it's a massive leap in terms of opening the eyes of the normal people, all right, the massive people, about the potentials and the promise and the good and the technology of blockchain. So
but
that
I think there is also what is that? People not sure in Southeast Asia especially, people not sure whether NFT has a future. Still, there is, even when I registered myself here, as I told the people in registration that I'm one of the speakers. Oh yeah, ma'am. What are you going to speak about, like that? And then I told him about NFTs. Is there potential in NFT?
I think there is, okay, because
See?
yeah,
So it's like that.
Yeah.
Not all people actually see the potentials, and especially because there are scams, etc. And then they feel that this is not something that that has no future.
My answer to all these things, and I had a conversation over there yesterday for lunch as well, all right, okay, and I said to this, okay, everyone knows Bitcoin broke through 100K.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's reported in Forbes, it's reported in CNN, it's reported, everybody knows. But still Still, yesterday, I still come across one person say to me, Bitcoin's a scam, it's not real, it's fake, it's a lie, it's lie,
Right,
okay?
right.
The same with NFT, okay? It has shown that. And we are dealing in an industry which is an increasing younger generation industry
Right.
who will download games, who will test something, who will scan just to try it out.
Right.
And this is the generation that is going to grow. And that's why, especially in Asia, what I just said just now, some more in sports, all right? I think it's just going to grow and grow, really.
Yeah, that's super interesting for me because we have like different thoughts here, right, and different experiences. From my, from what I see as well, I have a lot of friends, and most of them, they don't want work in crypto. Yeah. So when I speak about Bitcoin with them, because of all of this news, and the idea of Bitcoin that is developing for many years now, they are okay with Bitcoin. But when we are speaking about NFTs, they don't see real value in it. I mean, my friends. So, and I have one really deep traditional gamer among my friends, and he don't accept NFTs in games. He don't accept Web3 gaming in general because he thinks that it will, ruin the idea of the game, the gameplay, and the fun that he will have while he playing. Yeah. So this is.
I think there should be education, of course. So what we are still. Preparing is like this. So we need use cases, of course, right? So we know that in Indonesia, the fan base is huge like that. And then, but they are traditional fans of football like that. Yeah. Most of them, they don't know about NFT, right? So our team think that perhaps if we launch this, the fans will not be reacting like we are hoping, like that. So we need to have use case. So when we launch this for national team, so this is NFT for national team, our national team. So what we are preparing is we organize events, football matters like that, and then the fans should, if they want to come to this event, they should buy, and then when they buy, they also have NFTs. Mm-hmm. So it's like that. So it's like one package like that. But with that NFTs like that, they can have, if they are lucky, they can have like dinner with one footballer, for example, like this.
So it will be selected randomly?
Yes. So, and then next time, if they already have this collection, for example, and then we can have other, a kind of games like that. So it will create something like they are anticipating because it's related to the football industry and football players. Mm-hmm. If we just launch this NFTs like that, and then they will feel like, what is this? Should I buy? And then, what is this? Is it crypto?
Yeah.
So things like that. So we need to create, something that they feel relate. True. So things like that, because they like football, they like footballers, of course, they love footballers. Then we need to have something.
I agree. I really like this connection between real world and then what we have here, just to don't be in bubble and then to have this opportunity to engage with a bigger audience. Yeah. And I told you this story already while we were speaking there, but I'm from Ukraine and we had a huge case and a lot of people were talking about this in TikTok and Instagram and everywhere. So one crypto exchange in Ukraine, they launched these like cards, NFT cards, which were like surprise cards, and they placed them in supermarkets in Ukraine. And then like you also had some, points on these cards, and they were connected to football players as well. So they were able to engage with a huge audience, and all of these young people, they just were running to these supermarkets when they were opening, and they bought all of these cards, and they translated them and made like live sessions showing all these cards and how money they will get, and it was super engaging. And I again love this idea of combining physical activity, which is also good, and then you're willing to be connected to the sport and also the NFTs. So, yeah. We've discussed with Ida that Web3 is about communities and engagement, right? So can you tell me about this a bit more? Like, how do you see the development of the market? And I know that you are helping Web2 games integrating some Web3 elements to them, right?
Yeah.
And the main goal here is to attract bigger community, Web3 community. Is it right?
So in WGG, WGG started as a 100% pure Web3 blockchain games based. So we built a lot of communities, and of course the communities are the people who plays games, and they only play Web3 games, okay? Yeah. But what we increasingly saw was that, is that the market is actually very small. Okay, despite we have a 2.3 million community, this is Southeast Asia. It's nowhere in comparison to an Indonesian community alone, okay? It's actually very small, so it's not scalable. As a business, it's just absolutely not scalable, okay? So we saw how things are moving, all right? And we saw how Web2 games are now talking to the Web3 industry, also to us. And so the question was, how do we actually work together with all the limitations? What are the limitations, okay? The Web2 games, the titles, they are not going to come in and publish, they're not going to do what is known as a Web2 game and plonk it into a Web3 environment. It's not. They're trying to get more the gamers to play. Web3 gamers, on the other hand, Web3 game at the same time want to get more Web2 gamers to play. So how do we actually find a common ground to make this work? So we have done a lot of game quests. We have done a lot of campaigns whereby the Web2 games bring the titles in, okay? And to play their game, they also have to play one title of almost the same thing in a Web3 domain. Same likewise, we will bring our community who's interested in a Web2 game, but they first have to play the Web3 game in order to play the Web2 game. So basically, we get two communities to come together, and essentially, the rule is that you have to play both games, okay? You have to play both games. So that's one of the ways, is to basically amalgamate and join the community together. Now, what's the other one going forward? Going forward is using the blockchain technology. I'm a Web2 game, and we have seen all these things happening. I want to harness the blockchain technology to make my game better, to make my game cheaper, and also to open up to all those things. So what have we seen? We saw Ubisoft, okay, is a good example, how they have moved into working with Arbitrum, if I'm not mistaken, and using the blockchain technology, essentially is to use the tokens for the gamers. If you play in a game, you get to hold the token. By holding the token, you can actually vote and determine how the game should move. So you're using your gamers, you're using your communities, which is common in blockchain, to write the law of your game. In traditional game, the law and the plot of the game has to be written in-house, okay, by the developers. But now you farm it out through the power of the token. So these I can see is how, in some ways, the technology is shifting.
Well, yeah, that's super interesting. It's interesting how they realize this, like, I mean, I don't know, is it an app or is it a DAO, right? So you can participate in DAO and then you can just vote for some decisions.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
it's basically using blockchain concept, DAO, vote governance.
Okay.
And then what you're voting? You're voting whether you should kill off this character, whether this character's hair should be yellow or pink color. You vote on all that.
Yeah.
But now it's open to the community. So that's interesting.
Yeah, really interesting. I'm thinking about the UX and UI. Is it ready for mass community to participate in such kind of like voting?
The technology is already there. The UI UX dashboard is already there. Is it smooth? I used it. No, it's not. Okay, it's my quick answer. But we get better in it because this is so new. Okay, this is so new. But the fact is that you can actually execute it out, and you can see that it does move from point A to point B. But just not that smooth. It tells you that it is doable.
Yeah, good. You also mentioned that blockchain can make it cheaper. So how it works? Why?
Using the example of UGC, what's known as called user-generated content. Okay, so in a normal sense, when you publish a game, every game must have a story, right? Who's the character? What's the story? And other stuff, right? You have to hire script writers. You have to hire designers and everything. It's money. You got to hire all these people, and they always have to keep writing the story, keep writing all these things. Now, with UGC utilizing blockchain through the power of the token, in the example that I just gave you just now, okay, which is a use case, okay? You can Google it, Ubisoft, Arbitrum, and you will come out of the game. I can't remember the name of the game, okay? If that moves into maturity, think about it. I don't really need to hire script writers, okay?
Right.
The design of it, I can actually farm it out to my community, a section of my community, for them to come up with it. So the game cost has now gone much lower. That's number one. When I publish it, I just publish it to my community. I don't need to go through all these houses and everything, titles. So I actually cut all these costs, and therefore now my game is cheaper. Now, why is it like this? Because I do know one thing about Web2 games is that a lot of them are actually going back into subscription base. At the moment, a lot of them is free to play, but a lot of them are actually going back to subscription base. But the key is that how do you manage your costs by getting people to pay, your gamers to pay $8, $5, $2 a year to access all the title. So that's where blockchain comes in.
It's really interesting angle to look at this because I think, from my experience, I never heard such angle, about the cut of costs through the user-generated content because I feel that the Web3 has a power of community, and they understand that they has this ability to make these votes and to affect how the project will be developing because they are investors. This project. So getting back to the topic of our discussion, I want to ask you about your vision about how NFTs will be developing in the next 5 years, let's say.
Well, I just speak about Indonesia. Okay, because we are quite huge population, so the potential is there, but we need education. Indonesia, I mean, the scammers already there before us, so it's like, to make them learn, relearn, unlearn something, this is like ongoing process, yes. And but we just, Indonesia is fast to learn everything, 50% of our population is actually under 35. So we are young
Yeah, and
population.
flexible. I
So
think.
young population is our benefit, If it is, we talk about Japan, they are older population, but Indonesia is young population, and we just have our new president, and our president is only 38 years old, so he is young. He has a vision about what is that future technology, including blockchain, AI, Metaverse, things like that. Because because he's young, he also encourage what is that younger generation to participate and also learn about coding. Now, coding will be in our curriculum from elementary school, like that. So we are going to catch up much in the next 5 years. We hope that this new administration with the new president and vice president, I'm sure that NFTs, not only NFTs, but Web3, blockchain, like that, will be progressing, and more people will learn and will embrace this technology.
I don't think 5 years because I've been blockchain. 5 years is too far. We only think as far as 3 years, okay,
Okay,
and
makes
the
sense.
next 24 months, okay.
Yeah.
So just on that point, going back to what I said early on, okay, NFT is an instrument that actually opened up a lot of people's eyes because it certainly helped people to understand the benefits of blockchain. Just like AI, okay, because it's so easy to use, and the value that you can see is so quick. Same with NFT. And that will always continue for NFT in sports, in games, in movies, in art, in everything.
Yeah.
But how will it change, okay? So NFT will not change in terms as that connector.
Yeah.
But how will it change, all right? It is the earning part. Currently, NFT is like, in my time, when you collect cards, because I like this footballer because he's good looking. So I could buy the card, all right? That in that card has his picture, has his club, and he tells me that he can score how many games and all those things.
Yeah.
By holding that card, I feel emotionally connected to the player. That card now is turned into an NFT, but in the traditional sense, but that's all it is. It's a card, okay? What NFT brings further, it still holds those elements. It's a collection and that emotional attachment in the digital sense, but what it does bring further is that suddenly, by just holding that card, that digital NFT, it opens up discounts to tickets where he's playing. Okay? It opens up membership, autographed, autographed things like from him. Okay? It opens up to merchandise that normally is never open up to anyone, simply because I hold that NFT. And then on top of that, I can sell that.
Yes.
So if I collect that NFT, and with that NFT, I have collected even more digital collectibles of that player. In the old sense, it stays there. Okay, it's a collectible. But in the digital sense, all these things, I can now bring it to the OpenSea, and now I can say, I got it at 10 cents. Now I can sell it for $5 because it's worth more than that. Now that is the future of NFT in terms of fan engagement.